We live in a world that just seems obsessed with speed, right? Every startup wants to be the next overnight success. Our feeds are just full of these instant wins.
Mm-hmm. Launch fast, show results now.
Exactly. We're sort of conditioned to value that immediate visibility. But
Mm.
what if the real lasting impact, the kind that actually endures, starts somewhere else entirely? Maybe somewhere hidden.
Hiddenness, yeah.
Yeah,
Not very glamorous.
not at all. So here's a question for you listening. What if the biggest threat to your project, your idea, isn't some competitor, but just internal hurry, that rush to be seen?
That's a powerful thought to start with.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating book, Chris R. Villasis' The Preparation Before the Pulpit, the prayer, people, and presence that make churches thrive.
Now, hold on. Don't tune out if pulpit isn't your world.
No, definitely not, because honestly, Villasis has laid out this field-tested roadmap that applies to any significant project, really, any team trying to build something that lasts. So our mission for you today, we want to give you a shortcut to understanding why that lasting impact often starts in hiddenness, what that actually looks like, with some surprising bits and hopefully enough perspective to keep you engaged.
It's a framework that's just essential, I think, for anyone building something meaningful. Villasis' core idea is, well, it's simple but profound. Lasting fruit, real results. They come from deep, unseen roots.
The roots before fruit.
Exactly. And he gives this early stage a name, the seed phase. It's not about waiting around. It's a deliberate, really focused season of formation, getting the team aligned, establishing genuine presence before you go public.
It really challenges how we think about groundwork, doesn't it?
It completely reframes it away from just ticking boxes.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
Because the seed phase framework, it's more than just a nice phrase. It feels like a direct challenge to our desire for instant results.
Oh, absolutely.
It sort of legitimizes that quiet, maybe seemingly slow groundwork that our culture tends to just dismiss. It's so countercultural when everything's about instant launches and dashboards right now. What's the biggest mental block for people trying to embrace this?
That's spot on. The biggest hurdle is that pressure for instant validation. We're just wired to want to show progress, show something tangible.
Yeah, I gotta have someone to post about.
Right. But what's really interesting is how Villasis talks about strategic invisibility. He argues that this quiet period, this strategic hiddenness, is precisely what builds durability.
Strategic invisibility. I like that. It's not just hiding.
No, it's intentional, like stepping back to build real strength. Think about a tech startup in stealth mode, maybe for years, just refining things. Or an athlete training for ages before the Olympics.
Right, those hidden hours.
Exactly. And Villasis grounds this biblically, too, like Jesus' hidden years before his public ministry, or Paul doing quiet groundwork in places like Philippi. It gives leaders the language, the framework, to resist that pressure for quick visibility.
To say, no, we're not ready yet, and that's okay. It's strategic.
Precisely. It's a deliberate choice to build that strong internal core first.
It makes me think of that analogy in the book, The Oak Tree. Starting as just an acorn pressed into the soil, it has to go down into the dark before it can go up.
That descent into hiddenness.
And it connects to what Jesus said, right? Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it produces much grain. That dying part.
It sounds harsh, but it's about letting go, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe letting go of the initial flashy idea or the ego attached to it, like a writer facing brutal edits or a band practicing endlessly in a garage. That unseen work, sometimes painful, is where the resilience comes from.
Exactly right. And this directly confronts what Villasis calls the idol of speed in a culture of visibility. He says impatience that demand to see the fruit before you've cultivated the roots. It's like a silent erosion of the soil.
Ooh, silent erosion. That's good.
It really is. Yeah. Because it's invisible at first. You're building this impressive thing maybe, but on shaky ground because you rush the foundation. Eventually, it just crumbles.
It's insidious, like you said. Often, it's not the external storm that gets you. It's the weak foundation you built yourself.
So true. Many projects, even established businesses, fail internally long before the market notices. They rush the team building or didn't really understand their audience.
Guilty as charged on some DIY projects, I have to say. Their shelves are definitely decorative. So, okay, if this seed phase is about getting that depth, how do we actually do it? Villasis breaks it down, right, into 3 pillars.
He does. 3 really practical pillars to build that foundation. The first one is prayer, the spiritual engine room.
Okay, prayer. Explain that, especially for, contexts outside of church.
Right. So think of prayer here maybe as the ultimate strategic planning retreat, or the deep dive into mission alignment, or just cultivating profound intentionality. Villasis argues it's not the warm-up, it is the engine.
The engine room. Okay.
Yeah. It shapes the whole climate, the culture, the purpose. It guides the discernment, the key decisions, and it builds real momentum, the kind that isn't just hype.
So it's about getting that core alignment first.
Precisely. He points to the book of Acts, before Pentecost, where the disciples were just constantly together in prayer. The power didn't come because they had a great strategy document. It came upon their unity and focus.
So universally speaking, it's about that deep, shared internal work before the external action, getting clear on the why and the how together,
Exactly. Aligning the effort with the actual mission.
which means resisting that temptation. And it's a strong one to just jump to the marketing campaign or the flashy program launch.
And so doing the harder, quieter work of really defining purpose and building consensus.
Right. In business, maybe it's resisting the urge to launch the product before you've truly validated the need or aligned the team's values.
Spot on. And Villasis makes this really crucial distinction within this phase, calling versus ambition.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, ambition, he says, is often restless. It wants the spotlight, the quick recognition. It pushes for that premature launch.
Impatient.
Very. Whereas calling, or maybe true purpose, is rooted. It's willing to wait, to tend the hidden growth until the foundation is solid. And prayer, or that deep intentionality, helps clarify which one is driving you.
So it anchors you in the actual mission, not just ego or chasing trends. Helps you discern if it's the right thing, not just a fast thing.
Exactly. Are you serving the purpose, or is the purpose serving you?
That's a tough question. Okay, so once you have that deep intentionality, that prayer foundation, what's next? Who's doing the work?
That leads perfectly into the second pillar, people, the living stones.
People. Makes sense. Villasis stresses that the church is not a building project, it is a people project. And that feels universally true, right, for any team, any organization.
Absolutely. It's about the community being formed, the quality of the relationships. He connects it back to how Jesus operated, spending far more time forming those 12 disciples than speaking to big crowds.
So the focus shifts.
Completely. In this seed phase, success isn't measured by attendance or user signups or whatever metric you usually chase. It's measured by relational depth, by spiritual maturity, by team cohesion.
Who these first people become.
Yes, their shared commitment, how they handle conflict that sets the DNA for everything that follows. Think about a startup's founding team. Their unity, or lack thereof, often decides the company's fate more than their brilliant idea.
So the book really pushes for character, chemistry, and calling over just skills. That sounds hard to implement. Don't you need the skills to, actually build the thing?
It's a fair challenge, and Villasis isn't saying skills don't matter. But he argues they can often be taught, or you can hire for specific skills later.
Oh, why?
Character, chemistry, that shared sense of purpose, those are much harder to cultivate if they aren't there from the start.
Okay.
The hidden cost of prioritizing only skills. Often it's breakdown, conflict, the team imploding.
Ah, right. The brilliant jerks problem.
Exactly. Relational breakdown is a huge failure point. So he emphasizes building teams that outlast talent, prioritize character, shared values, unity.
How do you do that practically?
Well, the team needs to go through things together, pray together, struggle together, make decisions together. In any team context, that means facing challenges, being vulnerable, having those tough conversations collectively. What you practice in private shapes your public reality.
So it's about building those relational muscles early.
Yes, and he offers tools like team covenants,
Yeah.
basically, like a founder's agreement or team charter, and setting up conflict rhythms up front, addressing how you'll handle disagreements before they happen.
Proactive, not reactive.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense. Prayer, people. What's the third pillar?
The third one builds on this. Presence, establishing a life-giving credibility.
Presence. Incarnational presence, he calls it.
It's about deeply embedding yourself consistently, relationally, into the community you want to serve. Being present in the everyday rhythms, the third places where people actually live their lives, before you launch anything big.
So presence before proclamation. Don't just show up and start talking.
Exactly. And he advocates for what he calls cultural exegesis, which sounds academic, but it's basically deep market research mixed with ethnography.
Like being an anthropologist for your own project.
Kind of. conducting interviews, mapping the community's networks and hangouts, observing, listening deeply, all before you try to offer solutions or messages.
It raises that question, how can you genuinely serve a community or a market if you haven't truly listened to understand their needs, their language, their hopes?
You can't, really. The book gives tools for this: interview banks, community mapping exercises. It's about understanding the soil before you plant. It stops you from solving problems nobody has or talking in ways that just don't connect.
He uses that powerful image of Moses refusing to move without God's presence, saying, if your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here.
Yes, and then Villasis makes that really bold claim: a pulpit without presence is performance.
Wow. And that applies everywhere, doesn't it? A product without genuine market understanding is just performance. A leader without empathy is just performing. What happens if we ignore this?
What's at stake is relevance, authenticity, trust. Villasis argues that authentic presence, just being there consistently and relationally, earns credibility in a way that flashy events or ad campaigns never can.
It's slower, maybe, but more solid.
Much more solid. He also talks about the person of peace strategy, finding those key individuals already trusted within the community or market. Connecting with them opens doors far more effectively than any mass marketing.
Like finding your natural ambassadors, your true early adopters.
Precisely. People who already have the trust you need to borrow.
Okay, so we've got these three pillars: prayer, deep intentionality, people, strong, aligned teams, and presence, authentic connection. After all that hidden work, what's the big shift? How does Villasis want us to redefine success?
It's a total mindset shift, moving away from chasing rapid growth and visible metrics towards valuing depth before visibility.
Depth before visibility.
Yeah. He uses the parable of the mustard seed. What mattered wasn't how quickly it sprouted, but its eventual resilience, its strength, its ability to provide shelter.
Right, the final outcome, not the initial splash.
Exactly. He contrasts surface-level strategy, which often chases quick wins and then withers under pressure, with an enduring approach that deliberately chooses depth, maybe even obscurity for a time, focusing on faithfulness to the process.
Like those businesses built slowly over generations versus the startup that burns brightly and then burns out.
That's a great analogy. The burnout often comes from weak roots.
But how do you know when you're done with this seed phase? When is the foundation strong enough to actually build on? The pressure to launch must be immense.
Oh, it is. That's why the book stresses measured transition. Villasis provides practical tools like a readiness audit and transition gateways.
Okay, like checkpoints.
Exactly. Clear markers you need to hit. Things like, is the team truly unified? Have you genuinely adapted to the community or market culture? Do you have real relational networks? Is the strategy clear and actionable?
So it's not just a gut feeling.
No, it's designed to ensure the foundation can actually support a public launch. It helps prevent burnout, wasted effort, and outright failure from launching too soon.
What kind of questions does this audit ask? Can you give an example?
Sure, they're really insightful and honestly useful for any project. Questions like, is prayer or deep intentionality a lived rhythm or just an occasional ritual? Basically, is your core purpose embedded, or just an idea you trot out sometimes?
Good one.
Or has the team been tested in unity and conflict? Have you actually weathered a storm together? Do relationships with the community carry real trust? And has the vision been clarified into actionable, spirit-led, or purpose-driven strategy?
Those force you to be really honest with yourself.
They do. They're safeguards against impatience, pushing you to look inward before you leap outward.
And it's so important to stress, like we said earlier, this isn't just for churches. The transferable value here is huge.
Absolutely huge. Campus ministries, nonprofits, community groups, new business ventures, even expanding an existing one.
Personal creative projects, too, I'd argue.
Definitely. Anything that needs strong roots to survive long-term can benefit from this seed phase thinking.
And it's practical, right? Not just theory.
Very practical. It has this great theology to toolkit flow. Villasis provides immediate use-today tools. Things like those diagnostic questions we mentioned, a team covenant template like a prenup for your founding team,
Yeah.
a role fit assessment, interview guides for that ethnographic listening, a habit tracker for building presence, and that readiness checklist for transitioning. It's really comprehensive.
So just to be clear, this book isn't a shortcut to explosive growth.
Not at all. It's the opposite. It's explicitly not a manual for quick growth, but a field guide for durable ministry, or durable anything, really.
It's a roadmap, a field manual,
Yeah.
and kind of an invitation to slow down, dig deep, so whatever you build might actually last.
Well said.
Wow. Okay, so this deep dive into the preparation before the pulpit really highlights the quiet power of those hidden roots, doesn't it? That intense focus on prayer or purpose,
Yeah.
the strength of people, the team, and that genuine presence, that
It's
connection.
a foundation.
It really is, and it stands in such stark contrast to that constant cultural drumbeat for speed, for visibility, for now.
It's a counter-narrative we desperately need, I think. The book essentially issues this call for patience. It reminds us, and I'm pulling this near the end of the book, when storms come, and they always do, the projects built on shallow soil will topple. But
Hmm.
those planted in intentionality, rooted in strong teams, and saturated with genuine presence will stand like trees by streams of water, yielding fruit in season and leaves that never wither. The real legacy, he argues, isn't the speed of the launch, it's the depth of the
The
roots.
depth of the roots, that's powerful. So maybe the challenge for you listening is this. Think about your own projects, your own initiatives, big or small. Where are you feeling that temptation to prioritize speed over depth?
Where might you be rushing the foundation?
Exactly. What unseen groundwork, maybe in clarifying your why or strengthening your core relationships or really listening to your audience, could you be cultivating right now that would make your work more resilient, more enduring in the future? Maybe it's time to explore that idea of strategic hiddenness a bit more. Because maybe, just maybe, the greatest gift you can give your work is the patience to let it grow deep before it grows wide.